Welcome to the state of Ohio. I'm Karen Kassler. This week, a new chapter in the saga to create new legislative and congressional district maps. The Ohio Redistricting Commission is now redrawing both sets of maps for the first time simultaneously and under a time crunch. Statehouse correspondent Andy Chow reports.
The Ohio Supreme Court has invalidated the second round of state, House, and Senate district maps, saying they're still gerrymandered to favor the Republican Party, disproportionate to how Ohioans vote. So the 7-member Republican-dominated Redistricting Commission must redraw those maps a third time. But that's not all. Republican leaders in the House and Senate admitted there isn't any Democratic support to get a 10-year congressional map passed. So they decided to punt the responsibility of redrawing that map to the commission as well.
It became apparent that it wasn't possible to get a 2/3 vote in the House, which would enable any map adopted to go into effect right away. And without that, it wouldn't go into effect till after the primary date. So if it goes to the Redistricting Commission, it goes into effect as soon as the commission acts.
The commission's job of drawing both those maps is now butting up against the start of early voting for the May 3rd primary. The commission's work has been dominated by Senate President Matt Huffman and House Speaker Bob Cupp, both Republicans. The latest Supreme Court decision invalidating the legislative maps notes that Huffman and Cupp never told their staff members who drew the maps that the commission approved to make sure they complied with the section of the Constitution that bans gerrymandering, and that the ruling notes they had a, quote, an incorrect understanding of the proper methodology because they asserted that the share of Ohio voters preferring Republican candidates was somewhere between 54 and 81%. Huffman said this week lawmakers might have to consider splitting the primary into 2 different dates, a May 3rd primary for local and statewide elections, and another primary at a later date for legislative and congressional races.
I don't see how we can conduct an election for the General Assembly and the congressman on May 3rd. Are we going to penalize everybody else and upset that? No. So I think we're all searching for solutions.
Democratic leaders and voter rights advocates have put the blame squarely on Republican leaders, who have approved the now invalidated district maps in spite of vocal opposition from critics, saying from the start that the plans would be deemed unconstitutional in the court. Cupp says the legislative maps will likely be first on the agenda since those are due to the court on February 18th, before the congressional map, which is due in March. Andy Chow, Statehouse News Bureau.